So we woke up in an entirely new America because Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey have been officially overturned by the Supreme Court with the decision on the Dobbs v. Jackson case, effectively kicking the issue of abortion back to all 50 states, which is going to be very different on a case-by-case basis. And as a result, as expected, we've seen massive tears fall from the eyes of people who have no idea what's actually going on. One of those people being our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, who shared a very long statement on her Instagram today that seems to be making the rounds with many women in my generation. So let's react to this statement because she packages it this way as if she's supporting women. But in reality, it is the most garbage statement I think I've read today because of how full it is with lies about what women are capable of and how women can succeed. So let's unpack this. She says, I am heartbroken today. I am heartbroken for people around this country who just lost the fundamental right to make informed decisions about their own bodies. Sure, Michelle, tell me more about how you actually care about people's bodily autonomy now that we're out of COVID season and back into Roe v. Wade season. And while we're at it, scientifically, we know that it's not your body, it's someone else's body, but interesting. Okay. She says, I'm heartbroken that we may now be destined to learn the painful lessons of a time before Roe was made the law of the land. A time when women risked losing their lives getting illegal abortions. Wrong, by the way, just fact check that. Before the time of Roe v. Wade, women were not going out en masse getting illegal back alley abortions or trying to get them through the black market. Abortion rates were significantly lower, almost non-existent compared to what we experience today when Roe v. Wade had not gone into effect yet. So fact check that. A time when the government denied women getting control over their reproductive functions, forced them to move forward with pregnancies they didn't want, and then abandoned them once their babies were born. Give me a break. That is what our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers lived through, and now here we are again. And here's where it gets really good. So yes, I am heartbroken for the teenage girl full of zest and promise who won't be able to finish school or live the life she wants because her state controls her reproductive decisions. Who is telling teenage girls who face unexpected pregnancies that they can't go to school or live the life she wants? Not the pro-life movement, I can tell you that, especially working with pro-life organizations. It is consistently pro-abortion individuals who perpetuate this lie that women who face an unexpected pregnancy all of a sudden experience their life being over. There are millions upon millions of stories throughout American history of women who have finished school, who've started that business, who have gone to college, who became a nurse, who went to law school or medical school, even when they had a baby very young in life. And to suggest that women somehow are not capable of continuing their education or finishing their education or having a job or even just a semblance of a normal life, that she can't live the life she wants to because she gets pregnant, is the most demeaning statement and the most anti-feminist statement that I honestly think anybody could make, especially as a woman. So shame on you, Michelle Obama. She says, I'm heartbroken for the mother of a non-viable pregnancy who is now forced to bring that pregnancy to term. I get it. We are living in the era of I am not a biologist, so I can't answer any fundamental questions about biology. I am a biologist. Like literally, my degrees are in biomedical sciences. If you have a non-viable pregnancy, you are going to have a miscarriage. There's no need for an abortion. That's what non-viable means. What she's actually trying to say, but just shrouding it in mystery and political correctness, is that if you have a child with a birth defect or a deformity or a disability, or maybe your child has Down syndrome, they are less of a human being in her eyes and less worthy of being born than anybody else in society. So you should just take mercy on that child and abort them and not give them a chance at life because they're a little bit different from you, which in another fancier term is eugenics. So let's just go there. She says, I'm heartbroken for the parents watching their child's future evaporate before their very eyes, for the healthcare workers who can no longer help them without risking jail time. I can't with these people. Every single one of these is a lie and a misconception. She keeps going on and on and on. This is a very long statement. And she ultimately says this horrifying decision will have devastating consequences, and it must be a wake-up call, especially to the young people who will bear its burden. I know this is not the future you chose for your generation, but if you give up now, you will inherit a country that does not resemble you or any of the values you believe in. Reality check to our former First Lady. Generation Z is largely the most pro-life generation we've seen in modern American history. So what world and what planet you're living on to suggest that we didn't choose this and that we aren't passionate about this issue just goes to show how out of touch you are with modern American culture, especially for youth and the young people that all of a sudden you care about, despite supporting all of these COVID lockdowns, despite turning a blind eye to the mental health crisis facing our generation, despite perpetuating economic decisions that make it harder for us to get jobs and have a livelihood and actually have a supportive family. Again, tell me more about how much you care. We actually are excited about this decision, about Roe v. being overturned with Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey. It's why we protest in front of the Supreme Court every single January at the March for Life with thousands upon thousands of people. It's why we've branded ourselves as the pro-life generation and the post-Roe generation. So we're not looking for your opinion on what type of America we want to live in. This is the type of America we want to live in. My favorite part is that she goes on at the very end of this statement and says, if you're like me and you want to get started right now in fighting back against this, I encourage you to channel your frustration and anger into action by getting involved. Organizations like Planned Parenthood and the United States of Women, among many others, have resources that you can look to if you want to help others or if you need help yourself. Okay, so just to be clear and to understand the ideological consistency or lack thereof here in this argument, are we now saying that Planned Parenthood is an abortion organization? Because we've spent the last few decades insisting that abortion was less than 3% of anything that Planned Parenthood did, but now that's the first place we should be running to if we want to maintain an abortion culture in the United States. It's almost like maybe that's their primary reason for existence to begin with. And maybe more than 3% of their business was actually focused on abortion this whole time. Shocker, I know. Then she links to Planned Parenthood and captions the whole thing, my thoughts on the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. I just wanted to react to this and unpack this a little bit for you today because I think it's incredibly sad when we've created this shroud of imagery and a shroud of a lie in that we are doing this and we are saying this and we are fighting back against abortion going away in America because we care about women. And first of all, let's just dispel the lie altogether that this is a dark day because abortion is over in America. Abortion is not over in America with Roe v. Wade being overturned. In fact, all 50 states now have to decide for themselves what that's actually going to look like and are doing so right now as we speak. You have states like Colorado and California and Maryland who have very dramatically different abortion policies, allowing abortion all the way through the moment of birth or maybe even after birth, depending on what legal scholars you ask, or states like Missouri and Oklahoma and Idaho and Texas who are now doing the exact opposite and basically outlawing abortion in every single circumstance. So to suggest that abortion is somehow illegal in America today just goes to show how misinformed you are and how much the media doesn't want you to be aware of what's actually going on. But to suggest that abortion is getting more restrictive and to suggest that that is a bad thing for women is completely based in a lie. It's based in a fabrication. It's based in misinformation and misconception. First of all, now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned, arguably, depending on where you live in America, you actually have more access to abortion than you did before because Roe v. Wade essentially capped abortion regulation restrictions on the states at the third trimester of pregnancy. Now that that goes away, states like California and Colorado and Maryland can allow abortion under law, and they do allow abortion under law all the way through childbirth or, again, potentially even after. So let's just dispel that myth. But second of all, this is good for women. This is uplifting women. This is empowering women. And I know there's a lot of different opinions in the conservative space and in the political space and even just in the cultural space about this issue. But to suggest that women can't succeed just because they get pregnant, to suggest that women can't succeed and can't be a wonderful mother but also simultaneously continue their education or start a business or be an entrepreneur or go to graduate school or have the career of their dreams at the same time as being a mom is a lie. And it's a lie that's very carefully constructed to actually hold you back from your full potential, which is the opposite of feminism. And I am so sick and tired of the political left trying to seem like this moral high ground. We care about you. We're so empathetic. We want to help you. When in reality, all of their words are empty and hollow because their actions behind those words are intended to make you fail. They are intended to make you miserable. They are intended to take away fulfillment from your life. And they're intended to set you up for loneliness and heartbreak and depression, not for fulfillment and love and excitement. So if you're a woman today confused about what's going on in the world, you might be facing an unexpected pregnancy. You might not know what this means for your future, especially if you're a teenager or a college student, and you're hearing this narrative over and over and over again from people like Michelle Obama that we hate women now as America because we're trying to move more towards a pro-life jurisdiction and pro-life value set for our country. Do not fall for the lie.